Tens of thousands of Donald Trump supporters have flocked to the US Capitol to back the president's claims that the election was stolen and that Mr. Trump will win a second term. The rally is 1 week since the election was called for Joe Biden and takes place as the US continues to shatter COVID-19 infection records. People chanting "Stop the Steal" gathered at Freedom Plaza near the White House, few of them wearing masks. Correspondent Greg Jennett has more from the streets of Washington, D.C.
We're on Constitution Avenue, and as you might see behind me, people are flocking down the hill. Up that hill, in fact, is the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and then out to the other side of me on Constitution Avenue is the Congress there on Capitol Hill. And it's around those institutions of American democracy that thousands, let's make that hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters have snaked their way, starting first of all down this end of the street. That's Freedom Plaza down here, and that's where many are heading back right now. That is within 100 to 200 metres of the White House. So, as you can imagine, they've left there, they've come up here, around the court, around the Capitol, and they're going back. It has been remarkably peaceful, but also for a city of this size, and bearing in mind that there's only been about a week to organise this grouping, which was originally called the Million MAGA March, meaning 1 million people was aimed for to make America great again, to use Donald Trump's phrase. They didn't get 1 million, no way, but they've certainly got in the hundreds of thousands, and they've come from far and wide. We've spoken to people here who are all of exactly the same view that Donald Trump was the rightful winner of the November 3 election, and they've come from states down in Texas, over in Oregon, on the West Coast, to make that point right here on Constitution Avenue.
We want him in there for 4 more years, and we see that the Democrats and the Liberals are basically trying to steal the election through fraud, and we're not going to stand for it.
I believe that through the proof of our court system that Trump will be reelected.
There's a lot of energy within the country now to correct this, and I hope that we correct this the proper way through the system, because I don't want to see what this becomes if this theft continues.
He will win! He will win! Woo!
Donald Trump, to the extent that he is fighting this, is fighting the fight with the thumbs on the iPhone. That's where his comments are most strident every day, tweeting about this election being rigged. He hasn't said that much. Indeed, casting back to that event in the Rose Garden yesterday, there was almost the subtle outline of an acknowledgement that he may not be around in February when this vaccine, if it comes to pass, is going to be rolled out nationally. But you ask, what do the people here think? Well, to a person, those who we've spoken to believe that this can yet be won, that media pundits who look at the numbers and make these calls, giving states away and getting Joe Biden to 270 electoral college votes plus, that they're simply wrong, and these numbers are going to be mowed down by reality as days and weeks pass in the official counts and the certification that follows through December and through January. Or their belief is that if that weren't to happen, then it might ultimately be settled in their favour in the US Supreme Court just up the road. That might sound like a long shot to a lot of people. Indeed, the 75 million people who voted for Joe Biden in this country. But as much as these people represent the 72 million who voted for Donald Trump, this is their fervent hope and belief. Striking here is the fact that you're probably only talking about 40% mask wearing in this crowd. And if we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, that's large numbers of unmasked people. As I say, we reckon we're pretty safe with this area. We've cleared ourselves here. But just imagine the logistics in making it here. Some of the people we heard from just a little earlier in this broadcast have told us they've caught planes from states far and wide in this vast land. Some of those states are tremendously infected with record rates each and every day. So they've had to get on planes, get in cabs, buses, whatever the logistics of their arrangements to make it to this capital. You'd have to imagine that presents risks to fellow travellers and potentially also to the residents of this city. Although I do add that not many of them, being predominantly Democrat supporters, seem to have come out. Certainly we haven't met many residents of DC. Most seem to have come in from interstate.